I will call to order the Haywood County Board of Commissioners meeting for April 2nd, 2018, and ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Reverend couldn't be here this morning, so I'll just ask everyone if we could just stand. Okay, thank you. First up, we've got a call to public hearing. This is a request for public hearing to be held on April 16th. That's in 2 weeks at 5:30 here for the sale of the historic hospital located at North Main Street for $225,000. I'll let David Francis explain some of the other details. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Commissioners. Hope everybody had a happy and wonderful Easter weekend. Back on January 2nd, we approved an offer to purchase for the historic hospital located at 1230 North Main Street to Landmark Asset Group. This is in conjunction with the affordable housing. We are seeking tax credits for affordable housing for low to moderate income families, elderly, and even veterans, if the case may be. So part of what we have to go through these steps is we approved the offer. They made application on January 18th. 2 weeks ago, we received that the county had received a perfect site score for the historic hospital. There was 3 projects submitted in Haywood County, ours, 2 other ones. One had insufficient information, did not get a perfect site score. There's another one located at Howe Mill Road, which is a brand new construction, so it's still in the mix. So that's some good news for us, but part of this is that we have to approve a resolution, supporting the project for Landmark, and also approving the sale, and to approve the loan proceeds of $495,000, which will be paid back over 30 years at 1.95% interest. So we'll have the public hearing. At that time, I will go over the new drawings. We have some new architectural renderings that have been completed for the project, and we'll go over any other aspects at that time of the public hearing. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have at this time.
Commissioners, have any questions? Okay.
We're keeping our fingers crossed.
That's right.
And a couple of toes, too.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Thank you. So we'll set the hearing for April 16th, 2018 at 5:30 p.m. here. And of course, that's our next commissioners meeting. Next, we've got public comment session. First up, we got David McCracken. Morning.
Good morning. Greetings, commissioners, government officials, and citizens. I'm David McCracken, and I'm here today as the president of the Haywood County Public Library Foundation, Incorporated, one of the 2 local nonprofits organizations that support the library system. I would point out that Ms. Kathy Vossler, who's our new library director, is here, as well as Charlotte Wilson, who's on the board of trustees and is also on the fundraising committee for the foundation. The Library Foundation recently conducted a public meeting and respectfully seeks an update from the county on 3 topics. First is the Canton Library Outdoor Project. This had been on the commissioner's agenda last fall and was placed on hold pending the selection of both the new library director and the new facilities director. Both of those individuals are now in their respective positions, and with the arrival of spring, the foundation is hoping to move forward with the Canton Library Outdoor Project expeditiously. Second is the desire to move forward with the implementation of actions that will ameliorate deficiencies identified in the library strategic plan that was approved by the commissioners last 17 July 2017. Last week, the Library Foundation submitted a grant request to the town of Waynesville for in-kind services to provide engineer support and permits for a Waynesville library access project designed to accomplish 3 improvements: entry and exit into the library facility, increased parking, and improved handicapped access. The foundation hopes the county will also provide engineer and site development services in concert with the town of Waynesville to work on this project during 2018-2019 to further implement the strategic plan. And last, the foundation remains hopeful to be included as a partner in the contract action now underway to complete that $30,000 library renovation technical design. The Library Foundation once again wants to say thank you for your continuing service to the county and our citizens as you seek to balance services with resources. Given that demand for the services is on the increase, while in contrast, willingness to contribute through taxes for better resources is on the decrease. Nonprofit organizations like the Library Foundation can help fill that gap when asked to assist. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Next, we have Monroe Miller. Morning, Mr. Miller.
Good morning. Chairman Kirkpatrick and Commissioner Sorrells, I'm here to give you an update on the Publix dirt. Publix has moved out almost all the dirt from their new building site. There's not been a single dump truck load dumped at the David Francis dirt spreading project. Why don't you ask David Francis why? See if we are still on the hook to pay MAB $25,000 to truck the dirt and Avcon $167,000 to spread the dirt, since they both have valid POs. My second topic is on your new public records request policy. Since you approved Chip Killian's new and improved public records request policy, I have already had one custodian of public records, Judy Hickman, indicate to me, quote, "In order to comply with Haywood County's public records request policy, this request must be made in writing and presented to the Haywood County manager." Don Yelton filed a lawsuit in 1999 in Buncombe County against the then county manager, Wanda Green, who is no longer county manager and is under FBI investigation, against Wanda Green being a gatekeeper, and he won. The case 99 CVS 3497 states the following finding of fact. This case involves a dispute over the defendant's implementation of a multiple information request policy, which as of July 9, 1999, was in force against the plaintiffs so as to require them to make written requests to the Buncombe County manager in order to obtain public records of the county. The court ruled the defendant's multiple information request policy as applied to these plaintiffs to the extent that it requires plaintiffs to submit requests for access to public information through the county manager is hereby declared null and void. Don Yelton got wind of Judy Hickman's email to me and wrote, "Folks, unless the laws have changed, it was ruled that the county manager, Wanda Green, could not be a gatekeeper of information, and only the keeper of records could give the information. This county manager attempted to set up a 30-day all requests come to her. I'm sure you have seen the case, and I understand that the reply has been made that it does not apply in Haywood County. Have you removed yourself from the state, as this was a Superior Court case?" Chairman Kirkpatrick and Commissioner Sorrells, change your public records request so that it is in comportment with the North Carolina General Statute 132. Are you inviting another lawsuit? You know me, I'll make it happen. I appreciate your allowing time for me to express my concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Okay, Commissioners, we've got constituent concerns. Mike?
We just had a little thing here about foster grandparents and this National Service Recognition Day. It's tomorrow. And so we'd like everybody to possibly remember them and the service that they do for Haywood County and our school system. And then the other thing I'd like to do is I want to thank the staff for preparing. I had mentioned a couple weeks ago that I probably was not going to be here for this meeting. We had some issues or some things that was pending that, I felt like that I at least wanted to be involved in, and they were going to set up a situation where I could call in and participate in the meeting, but things changed and I'm here, and we didn't have to use it, but we're prepared to use it or have it in place now in case something has to happen. So I want to thank the staff for doing that.
Kevin? Bill? Okay. I want to follow up on David's comments. We had a library board meeting Wednesday before last, and the library board of trustees was in support of attempting to plan or do some engineering, possibly some investigation as to entry and exit into the library, increased parking, and handicap access. Those are three things that the library has been in need of. And I know the study that's being undergone now just deals with the interior of the library. So maybe Chris, maybe we could take a look at that. The entry, probably another entry, if you continue past the entry towards Central Elementary School, an entry on the right that would connect all the way around and possibly additional parking back there. So, but the Library Board of Trustees was in support of trying to come up with a way that we could do that. Okay. Next we got administrative and agency reports. Lynn Collins is here with us with TDA to give us a mid-year occupancy tax report.
Good morning. Happy spring.
Good morning. Happy spring to you.
As the chairman stated, I'm here to give a mid-year report on the occupancy tax collections. The first graph that you have in your packet shows the 3% net occupancy tax collections, and it gives you a comparison of year-to-date versus projections, the projected budget, but also the actual from last year. So as you can see, through December, we are 18% ahead of budget and 9% ahead of last year. It's looking to be a good tourism season. We're looking forward to the summer, and we recently got the January numbers, and we've had a couple of tough winters as far as ski season goes last 2 years, but I'm happy to say that we had an excellent January ski season. So the January numbers really look good. They were 45% ahead of budget and 25% ahead of last year, so we were thrilled about that. The next chart you have shows the 1% occupancy tax report, and that also gives you a comparison of actual to projection and actual to last year. So as you can see at the bottom, across the board, it's broken down by zip code. And year-to-date comparison, you can see that all of the zip codes except for Maggie Valley are up. Maggie Valley just had a slight dip, but they are also trending upwards. They had a good January. So it's you'll see substantial increases in the Clyde and Lake Junaluska zip codes. And then lastly, I wanted to show you the historical numbers for the 1% net occupancy tax. That legislation was passed in 2007, and we started collecting in January of 2008. And that also is broken down by zip codes so that you can see since the inception of the program how much has been collected for each zip code. We, this week, actually, are going to start meeting with the subcommittees on the grant applications for the 1% for the 19 budget year. And as always, we have about 3 times the amount of applications that we actually have money to provide. But there's some great projects in there, and I know the subcommittees will work very hard to make recommendations to the TDA about using that money as wisely as possible. So if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Commissioners have any questions?
I'd just like to make a few comments. I'm the commissioner that sits on that board, and I can tell you that they are hard at work. They're not resting on any laurels just because of this thing. They're very aggressive in implementing new programs that's out there. We've kind of done since for the last 6 or 7 years since I've been on there, 8 years now since I've been on there, we've changed the marketing and how it's done and the social media, and so it's pretty amazing the changes that have gone on with how we've trended with the way changes have been in the advertising and marketing world, and just compliment the staff down there. So we've had a little changeover, but everybody that's come in has hit the ground running. They bring something new to the table, and the Government Relations Committee's been meeting on a couple of issues, and that's one that I'm on there too. And so lots going on with the Tourism Development Authority.
Just 2 things I would mention. Our website has just won 4 awards. So if you have an opportunity and you haven't looked at that, please go look at it. It's visitncsmokies.com. And the other thing that I would like to mention is encourage you to attend the Council of Government meeting on April 23rd. We will be doing a presentation about the new wayfinding signage program for Haywood County. The contractor will be there to present the design for the signs and talk about the locations where they will be placed. So we're really excited about that and think that's going to be a great project for the county.
Okay, commissioners have any questions of Lynn?
Only question I have, Lynn, is did y'all say that there is a new website, or is it the same website? You just done some updates? Maybe, Michael, you're the one that mentioned that.
I mean, like I said, they're always redoing and changing and trying to be better. And this is just we've always had a website. It's just the improvements and the continuation of what they've been doing that has, and then it's beginning to get national recognition.
Well, I heard you say that. I was on it probably, it's been a year ago, I guess. I'd like to go back and look at it and see. So
Well, they're constantly changing.
The back end has completely been redone on that site, so it's much more responsive and has a lot of added features in the last year, so check it out.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Lynn. Next, we've got a discussion and adjustment to the agenda. Brandon had requested that we add personnel to the closed session. Personnel would be North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A6. So unless anyone has any objections, I'll add personnel under closed session. Anybody have any objections to that? Anybody have any other adjustments or additions? Okay. Then we'll move to consent agenda. Request approval of March 19th, 2018 regular meeting minutes. Does anyone have any changes, corrections, deletions to those minutes? All right. If not, we'll move to request approval of budget amendments. We have Julie Davis with a couple. First one is the general fund. Extension $14,500 increased revenues from the Master Gardeners plant sale.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I do have a budget amendment for the Master Gardeners plant sale, and you might notice that I've got $14,500 in the agenda, but budget amendment is $15,000. It looked like they had more revenue coming in after I put it on the agenda. If you want me to stick with the $14,500, that's fine, but I'd like to go ahead and request at this point that we increase it $15,000. So maybe we won't have to come back again before the end of the year. This is a program that has been around for a number of years, but we have just recently been running it through the county, and every spring they have a plant sale. So we take the proceeds and they use them partially to pay for the plants, but they have programs that they do in their Master Gardening Association as well.
Commissioners, have any questions of Julie regarding that? Okay, we move to the Haywood County Health Department Mountain Projects.
This budget amendment reflects a discussion that we had at the last work session where there was a discussion about Mountain Projects having purchased a building from the county. They are financing that. It's a seller finance mortgage, and they are renovating that building. And during this discussion, it came up that Jackson County is going to match some renovation increases. Apparently, their construction costs came in a little bit higher than what they had planned. And they would match $150,000 if Haywood County would put $150,000 toward that. And there seemed to be a bit of a consensus that that's what this board would like to do. So I brought a budget amendment here so we could put it in the current year budget to increase, actually from zero, we haven't made a contribution to Mountain Projects for this type of thing, for $150,000 from the general fund to cover the match, and this is going to be from fund balance in the general fund.
Okay, Commissioners, we did discuss this during the work session at some length. However, would any of the Commissioners like to make a comment about this issue this morning?
I just got a comment, Kirk. I just want to make sure everybody's clear. We had sold the old health department to Mountain Projects and gave them a pretty good adjustment in the price. And when we did that, Jackson County gave them $150,000. And then Jackson County, I guess back last fall, Mountain Projects had a program where they were showing the services they provide. We were all invited. I went, but and there were some Jackson County commissioners there. And when they saw all the good work that Mountain Projects did, they said. They went back and basically said, we need to do more. So they're doing another $150,000. So they'll have a $300,000 investment in this project, and then they've challenged us to match their $150,000. So I just want to make sure everybody understands that we're kind of equal partners, if you will, with the reduction we gave Mountain Projects, and then Jackson County stepped up and provided some funding, and then they're challenging us for this. So this is in addition to that. So this will really help them with their project. When you factor in, I think they had put out that they provide services. The services they provide, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering, would have amounted to about 16 cents on the tax rate, which for a $200,000 home, that's about $300 a year. Impact that they have, that they provide these services to our citizens, our citizens don't have to pay for through the county budget. So I just want to let people know that the good work that they do. So just wanted to clarify that to make sure everybody understands that this is a challenge from Jackson County for $150,000, but Jackson County's already matched us with their donation with $150,000 last year. So just want to make sure everybody understands that that's kind of the total picture, if you will.
Any other comments?
Just a comment or two. Of course, I'm on the board, and I guess I knew this, but I didn't realize how deep Mountain Projects goes as far as helping the most needy in Haywood County, the most needed. Kevin's mentioned, we'd have to go, if Mountain Projects disappeared, we'd have to come up with 16% more on the 100. And we talk about 140 jobs. And I do know when you go in, if you put a group into a new facility, like we did, the old hospital over to the Walmart, the health department, and DSS, the atmosphere causes the workers to feel better about their situation and to get more work out of them. I mean, that's just the way it goes. So I appreciate the board and their attitude. I believe we all together on that we need to help the most needy in Haywood County. And the Patsy Dallas, she tells a story. She was a Mountain Projects little girl, so our director. So,
thank you, Bill. Anything else? Anything? Okay. I went back and forth on this, but when another county we're in the department or the actual physical location is not located, agrees to provide $150,000. If you provide $150,000, that's certainly a benefit. It continues their presence here. It takes a building from the county, which we've already sold it to them, but actually makes it, more viable. And certainly, as mentioned by Kevin and Bill, the services they provide are such a benefit to the county. And if they weren't not here and not available, it would be a cost to the county. And so, therefore, I'm in support of this $150,000 to provide to them for the renovating of the project. And I believe they ran into some additional problems with the renovation as well that they were not aware of. So, with that, any other comments? Okay. All right. Thank you, Julie. I'll entertain a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented then.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and that passes unanimously. We don't have any old business. In new business, we have a request approval of appointments to the Haywood County Tourism Development Authority, TDA 1% zip code subcommittees. We've got Lynn Collins with us again now.
Well, in my previous report, I told you that the subcommittees were going to start meeting this week to work on the grants, so we obviously need to get them appointed so they'll be official. Just to recap as to how this 1% works, that it is administered through a grant program with the TDA, and each zip code has their own pot of money, so they have their own subcommittee from folks in that area in the tourism industry and also a TDA board member who will review those applications and make recommendations to the TDA board about how that money is to be spent in each zip code. The TDA board does have the final authority on the 1% funds. So from Canton, we have Nathan Lowe, Debbie Crawford, and Gail Mull. Clyde, Mayor Jim Trantham, Rube Schoen, Katie Gould. Lake Junaluska, Barbara Bowser, Frank Sith, and Ken Howe, Maggie Valley, Chris Bates, Twinkle Patel, and Beth Brown, and Waynesville, Carolyn Brunk, Jose Gonzalez, and Amy Owens. And if you will recall, I recently brought you some new guidelines for approval for the makeup of the subcommittee. So they serve 2-year terms, and they can serve up to a maximum of 3 2-year terms, or a total of 6 years. So we're going to have orientation on Wednesday, and they start meeting on Thursday. So.
Okay. Commissioners, have any questions of Lynn?
Just another comment, and you mentioned that, but this is the new setup that we approved about the 1%, and I'm assuming that you had a little easier time putting this together this time than we normally had, or not really, still difficult, but not looking for 5 people anyway.
Yeah, it was just had a couple of people, it took a little longer to get their appointments into me, so that's why we're running a little bit late with getting them done.
Mm-hmm. So that's all I've got.
Comment, this is a good board. I know several people on there. Y'all
Yes,
did a good
and
job.
I'm looking forward to working with them.
Yeah,
It's
I
going to be
would if I were you.
a new
Yeah.
dynamic, so I think it'll be exciting.
Any other comments? All right, then I'll entertain a motion that the individuals named to the Canton Zip Code Subcommittee, Nathan Lowe, Debbie Crawford, Gail Mull, be appointed. Along with that, for the 28721 Clyde area, Mayor Jim Trantham, Rube
From the Big
Schoen,
Bun.
and Katie Gould. For the 28745 Lake Junaluska Subcommittee, Barbara Bowser, Frank Stith, and Ken Howell. From the Maggie Valley 28751 Subcommittee, Chris Bates, Twinkle Patel, and Beth Brown. And from the 2878586 Waynesville Subcommittee, Carolyn Brunk, Jose Gonzalez, and Amy Owens. I'll entertain that motion.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and that passes unanimously.
Thank
you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Next is request approval of Haywood County Affordable Housing Council bylaws. We have Mark Clasby with us, who is the Haywood County Affordable Housing Council Chairman. Morning, Mark.
Good morning. Good to see y'all.
Good to see you.
Thank you. I'm here this morning on behalf of the Affording Housing Council to ask your approval of our bylaws to govern the Affordable Housing Council. Our first meeting was in January, which was a organizing meeting, and we appointed a subcommittee to craft the bylaws, actually, that Chip and Tracy helped crafted the bylaws, and then we presented them to the Affordable Housing Council at our February meeting, February 13th. And so the council approved them at that point. And so this morning I'm asking for your approval of the bylaws for governing the Affordable Housing Council.
Okay, commissioners have any questions? Chip, you've reviewed this?
Yes, I did. I prepared them, actually.
All right. No one has any questions? Okay. I suppose we still have an affordable housing issue, don't we?
Yes. Had a long time.
It's probably greater than it was before.
That's correct.
I'll entertain a motion that we approve the Haywood County Affordable Housing Council bylaws as presented by Mr. Clasby, the Haywood County Affordable Housing Council Chairman.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and that passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
We
Mark.
appreciate it.
Next is request approval of fireworks display at Chestnut Ridge venue for April 7th, 2018, May 5th, 2018, May 12th, 2018, and May 19th, 2018. Got our Fire Marshal Andrew Messer with us here to make that request.
Good morning, Commissioners. As stated, our office has received requests from Chestnut Ridge for fireworks on those aforementioned dates. They have submitted all the proper paperwork. We've also spoke to them, and they're going to post the sign at the end of the driveway, notify the neighbors like they usually do, and they assure us that the fireworks will happen at or before 10 p.m.
Okay, Commissioners, have any questions about that? This is something we discussed at length several months ago.
Since we had all this other stuff in place, all of it seems to be working well now. Neighbors
Yes,
are
sir.
okay, and
We haven't heard anything back since that long meeting we had that time.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the fireworks display for April 7th, May 5th, May 12th, and May 19th in accordance with the requirements that we have previously set forth.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and that passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Next is request approval of two resolutions. Chief Deputy Haynes is coming forth, and Chief Haynes, I'll let you describe both of those.
Good morning, Commissioners. I wanted to bring before you actually one of two back-to-back resolutions that we traditionally do when someone retires, and also in this case for one of our members who has passed. The first being for a resolution honoring Captain Bruce Warren for his 42 years of law enforcement service. This would be to award him his issued badge and sidearm. The resolution reads as such. Whereas Captain Warren joined the Haywood County Sheriff's Office as a deputy sheriff and held the ranks of deputy sheriff, detective, and captain of criminal investigations. Whereas Captain Bruce Warren's service and dedication to the Haywood County Sheriff's Office and service, dedication, and accomplishments in the field of law enforcement during his 42 years of total service are hereby recognized and commended. And whereas under North Carolina General Statute 20-187.2 provides that retiring officers of the Haywood County Sheriff's Office may receive at the time of their retirement the badge worn or carried by them during their service with Haywood County. And whereas under North Carolina General Statute 20-187.2 further provides the Haywood County Board of Commissioners may, in its discretion, award to a retiring officer the service sidearm of such retiring officer at a price determined by the Board of Commissioners upon securing a permit as required by North Carolina General Statute 14-402. Whereas Captain Bruce Warren has served as a member of the Haywood County Sheriff's Office and is retiring from the Haywood County Sheriff's Office effective 16 March 2018. And now, therefore, it be resolved by the Haywood County Board of Commissioners as follows, that Sheriff Greg Christopher is hereby authorized in accordance with the provisions of North Carolina General Statute 20-187.2 to transfer to Captain Warren the badge worn by him during his service with the Haywood County Sheriff's Office. and that Sheriff Greg Christopher is hereby authorized in accordance with the provisions of North Carolina General Statute 20-187.2 to transfer to Captain Warren his service weapon or service sidearm at no cost to Captain Warren upon the securing of a permit as required by North Carolina General Statute 14-402. Be it further resolved that the Haywood County Board of Commissioners recognizes and thanks Captain Warren for his dedicated service to Haywood County and its citizens, adopted this second day of April 2018.
Okay, Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion to approve that resolution as presented by Chief Deputy Jeff Haynes honoring Captain Bruce Warren for his 42 years of law enforcement service.
So move.
Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that passes and unanimously. And you move on to the next one.
Thank you, Commissioners. For the second resolution, we would like to bring, or I would like to bring before you as well, too, is this is to honor the 25 years of service of Lieutenant Mike Price, who passed away last year in 2017. With that said, this resolution is as read. Whereas Lieutenant Mike Price joined the Haywood County Sheriff's Office as a deputy sheriff and held the ranks of deputy sheriff, sergeant, and lieutenant in the Patrol Division and in the Court Securities Division. Whereas Lieutenant Mike Price's service and dedication to the Haywood County Sheriff's Office and his service, dedication, and accomplishments in the field of law enforcement during 25 years of total service or total years of service are hereby recognized and commended. And whereas under North Carolina General Statute 20-187.2 that provides that retiring officers of the Haywood County Sheriff's Office may receive at the time of their retirement or end of service the badge worn or carried by them during their service with Haywood County. And whereas under North Carolina General Statute 20-187.2 further provides the Haywood County Board of Commissioners in its discretion to award to a retiring officer or the nearest living relative the service sidearm of such retiring officer at a price determined by the Board of Commissioners upon securing a permit as required under North Carolina General Statute 14-402. Whereas Lieutenant Mike Price has served as a member of the Haywood County Sheriff's Office, ending his tour to Haywood County on 14 March 2017. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Haywood County Board of Commissioners as follows, that Sheriff Greg Christopher is hereby authorized in accordance with the provisions of North Carolina General Statute 20-187.2 to transfer to the wife of Lieutenant Mike Price, be Mrs. Sarah Lynn Price, the badge worn him by and during his service with Haywood County Sheriff's Office, and that Sheriff Greg Christopher is hereby authorized in accordance with the provisions of North Carolina General Statute 20-187 to transfer to the widow of Lieutenant Mike Price, Mrs. Sarah Lynn Price, after being rendered inoperable, or his service weapon, after being rendered inoperable by a certified firearms instructor or armor. His service sidearm at no cost to the widow of Lieutenant Mike Price, Miss Sarah Lynn Price, and upon the securing of a permit as required by North Carolina General Statute 14-402. Be it further resolved that the Haywood County Board of Commissioners recognizes and thanks Lieutenant Mike Price for his dedication and service to Haywood County and its citizens, adopted this second day of April 2018.
Okay, Commissioners, you've heard the resolution. I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution honoring Lieutenant Mike Price for 25 years of law enforcement service and also awarding his issued badge and sidearm to his widow, Sarah Lynn Price.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? Any comments?
You know, I think I'm starting to feel old up here. I believe I had both of those young men as students at Pisgah High School. I know I had Price, but I think I had probably Bruce too. So
You may very well. We certainly will miss both of their contributions to the citizens of Haywood County. They both have fulfilled their duties to the citizens of Haywood County, and we sorely missed.
Be sure to thank them for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will make a comment. I mean, I've been an attorney practicing for 23 years, and Bruce, and early on and I did a lot of criminal work, so Bruce and I had a lot of cases together, and he was always, good to work with, and always did his job, but was nice to people and respected people in what he did, and we certainly appreciate his service. And then Mike, you can't meet someone in Haywood County that knows Mike and then not give you a big smile at his contribution to this county and what he's done. And I went to his funeral, and certainly there were so many good things said about Mike and his contributions to this county as well. And very sad to see him go. But if you're going to go, if you can leave this world like he did with the kind of impression that he had upon people, I don't know. We're all going to go. I'd rather go like that than any other way. So, but both men have been very, very beneficial and outstanding officers, and I know that you're sad to see both of them gone. Okay.
Absolutely. And thank you as well, too, for those words, because obviously we miss Lieutenant Price each and every day, and it is hard to believe it's been a little over a year now, and we certainly will miss Captain Warren as well, too, and his contributions that he has brought to bear for many, many years. So thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move to request approval to purchase a Ford F-150 truck for facility services from Taylor Ford in the amount of $24,950 to be paid from 2017-18 funds. We have Chris Boyd, our Development and Facility Services Director. Hey, Chris.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I've submitted to you the request for approval to purchase a new truck. Included in your package should be 3 estimates, of which Taylor Ford is the least expensive at $24,950.
Okay, Commissioners have any questions? And Chris, could you just provide the uses that the truck will provide to the county?
Will be used for service in the facilities department. It will be, it'll haul stuff, it'll have tools, they'll do some repair work. It could be used for some other things if needed in some of the other departments within Development and Facility Services as well. At times, potentially building inspections or something of that nature if we have need to move those vehicles around.
All right. Commissioners have any questions? All right, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the purchase of the Ford F-150 as presented by Chris Boyd.
So moved.
Okay, any discussion?
It's good. We're getting some bids in, low bids from our local people. So I think maybe the time before it was Ken Wilson.
They were pretty close. They weren't very far apart.
It's hard to say. They all look pretty close.
Pretty close.
I mean, within $500.
$500.
That's very competitive, very.
All right, did we have, who moved? Michael and you. Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and that passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Next, we got request approval of a $1,000 donation to Commission for a Clean County. Vice Chairman Bill Upton's request.
This is one we make every year, and I've been on this committee really 13 years, one year before I became commissioner. And this is one board that works. We pick up 6 times a year. And if you ever want to come with us and pick up trash and dodge traffic, I'm amazed. People do get up and down the road when you're picking up trash. So, but I should have mentioned this to Jeff. We'll talk to the sheriff, and we got a lot of picking up to do this year. Seems like we have more litter than I've seen in a long time. I guess the wind blowing so much. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to request the $1,000 donation, and we'll put it to good use.
All right. Commissioners have any questions of Bill on his request? This is something that we have done in the past, and obviously it's a benefit to the entire community, and I get multiple calls on trash. I don't get a whole lot of calls, but I do get calls on trash.
Well, it's obvious that it's needed, to be picked up periodically. This is something we've done, and, I do get calls on particular areas, and so it's our contribution to keeping Haywood County clean.
Just a comment, I know that it's put to good use. I forget the tonnage, Bill, you may know, that's picked up every year. I was amazed when I become a commissioner and was going to some of the meetings, but just to see the tonnage that's picked up every year here in Haywood County will amaze you. So $1,000 goes to a very good cause. So.
And too, the public really doesn't realize this board won an award because of the development of our 10 convenience centers. So, you know, I'm sure if we didn't have convenience centers, we'd never get all the litter picked up. I mean, I use them every 2 or 3 times a week. So litter's going to always be with us. So we need plenty of people helping us pick up. I know when Buddy Chandler was at Tuscola, one thing he hated was a piece of trash on the campus. So we get everybody feeling like that. And keep your windows rolled up in your car. Don't be throwing trash out the windows.
Right.
That sounded like a lecture, didn't it?
Well, yeah, I feel like I'm in your office, principal's office.
Well, that would save an old man from bending over if you keep your windows rolled up. Let's put it like that.
I will say this, Bill has been a real advocate for Commission for a Clean County and for keeping the county. And he doesn't just serve on that board, he's out there on the streets picking it up. And I appreciate that all these years.
And I'm not as fast as I used to, so you have to get out of the way of the traffic.
Anybody else have any comments? Let's see. I got to do a motion, right?
Motion.
I entertain a motion as Bill has requested for the $1,000 donation to Commission for a Clean County.
So moved. Second.
Motion second. We got everybody moving. And second, Candy, you can just pick on that one. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and that passes unanimously. Okay, next is request approval of appointment of Carol Venus to the Adult Care Community Advisory Committee for Long-Term Care. Joel Masterman.
Mr. Chairman and members of the board, you have a application from Ms. Carol Venus for the Community Advisory Committee for Long-Term Care, and you have a recommendation from Larry Reeves, who is the long-term care ombudsman from the Region A Southwestern Commission. Ms. Venus is retired. She retired in February of 17 from the VA Medical Center in Asheville. She served with the VA for 36 years, I think, total, but she also part of her service included service to veterans in their long-term care program. She resides in Canton and has been a resident of Haywood County for 9.5 years. And again, she is recommended by Larry Reeves, the ombudsman from the Region A.
All right, commissioners have any questions about that? I'll entertain a motion to appoint Carol Venus to the Adult Care Community Advisory Committee for the Long-Term Care as set out by Joel Mashburn.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and that passes unanimously. Next, we've got a work session on April 16th, 2018 at 2 o'clock here in the historic courtroom. Another work session dealing with the 2018-2019 budget. It's open to the public, so everyone is welcome to attend. Commissioners have any problems with that date at 2 o'clock?
Candy, I believe, is going to have a full meal for us after the...
All right. Okay.
Teddy chips.
All right, so we'll start that at 2, and then, of course, after that, we'll move into our commissioners' meeting at 5:30. Next, we've got a closed session item. We have 2 items, attorney-client privilege, North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A3, and personnel, 143-318.11A6. I'll entertain a motion that we go into closed session to discuss those 2 items.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and that passes unanimously. Okay, we are back after our closed session. Don't anticipate any action. Anybody Got anything for open session before we close today? All right. If not, I'll entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
There's a second. First or second? Got them. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned. Thank you.
We are adjourned.